So this is a tough one because like it's Saturday and we don't really have a branded show for Saturday, and I couldn't think of any better name for it than Frame Games and TinyMrsB, because like you guys are so well known in the uplift space, and you've done. I mean, you came out of nowhere, kind of, and then you created the shop list if people don't know who you are, and now you're just in there building. Corey's allergic to progress. That's
apparently.
So yeah, welcome to the show, Frame Games TinyMissB. I mean, who are you and what do you do?
What do we not do, essentially, right? So we kind of dabble a little bit into everything, just between like personal goals and getting ourselves out there. Really, the uplift for us has been a family thing. Really, for our NFT projects that we like to look into, we really look for something that provides utility, right? And so when it comes to affecting our family itself, we'll go all the way, whatever it takes. So with the uplift in particular, this is something that I enjoy, my wife enjoys, and both of our kids enjoy, and we all do it together. So awesome. Once that became like a thing for me, I was just all in, whatever I could do to help. And it's just kind of been that way for both of us. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely something that we found it and we're like, this is kind of cool. This could be a thing. Our kids have played hours and hours and hours of Minecraft, and they're always like, Mom and Daddy, play with us, and we've done our fair share, and finally now their kids are like, you guys play too much. So,
right.
It's definitely a family thing.
I had like a similar situation when I grew up, like with Tetris. Like, my parents never played video games until they played Tetris. And then like, we would come home and like they would be playing and we would be really angry because like we couldn't play. And it was like, I kind of get that. So, but I think that's interesting. I didn't actually know that you have kids. So this is kind of like a bit of a family thing for you guys. You guys can come in, you can build together, you can do things together. See, I thought that Great Lighthouse at the Gratitude Spawn was you, Frame Games, but apparently it was a 6-year-old that I have no idea how old your kids are, but like, I love it. Like, that's really cool. So yeah, they must like Corey, uplift and family kind of means a lot to you, right?
Yeah. I mean, every time I hear a story about, people that, are running projects and you guys, we're going to talk about like a lot of the things you guys are starting to develop in the space. But like bringing their kids in to start building, that's what happened right away that I just wasn't prepared for it. Right. Like when we first started doing Genesis, we had, all those community plots that we were, giving out to different projects. And I think almost half of them were like, hey, is it okay if I bring my kids in so they can like build me something cool? I'm like, yeah. And like, I've heard the story now hundreds of times. Like, we wanted to come in here and build some stuff or whatever. And like, I brought my kids in there and it was a thing we got to do together. And that's just like, it's awesome. It's really cool. So I'm every time I'm never going to be able to hear that story enough, and I hear it constantly. So it's fun.
Yeah, and our kids are very efficient at it. They've been playing. Well, our little boy's 8 now. He's been playing since he was 2, maybe. So I can literally ask him any question like, "Hey, what's the recipe to do this on the crafting table?" Bam, like that.
Yeah,
he's so
amazing.
helpful.
Yeah, Jen, which is my cousin who works with us, her son Leon, who is now famous for murdering me with fire. The little jerk. He actually helped me build the pillars for the Cathedral 2.0 as well. But yeah, he's the same way. Knows everything. Like just knows absolutely everything. And Russ, his dad, her husband, is kind of the same way. You guys have seen, Shipletopia and some of the kind of mega builds in Chicken Ka. That's him as well. But yeah, like Leon knows everything. It's nuts. It's almost scary.
Right.
Anyway, I got gratitudes up here, so let's do that, and then we can move on and take a look at some other stuff. For me, I'm grateful for the two of you this morning, and I'm grateful I have building, in the front of mind. It's building the business side of things. Obviously, we're moving to a DAO pretty soon, but that consumes all of my brain most of the time. And I woke up this morning just with a really clear picture of something absolutely massive that just needs to be attempted. And so, I started kind of mapping that out today, and just so that I can get a clearer look at it. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of excited about it. Anyway, so Tiny, let's start with you. What are you grateful for this morning?
I'm grateful for this space to have some friends, even though they're not IRL. I'm grateful for this space and the community.
Right? Friends that you never met are weird.
Right, Jimmy?
Like,
You guys know we've never been in the same room, right?
yeah, we've been doing this for
Well,
about a year and a half now. I mean, on a regular basis, maybe more. At least a year and a half. Yeah, we've never actually met in real life, which is funny.
Hey, Zester, thanks for hanging out with us this morning in the comments, by the way. I'd love to put a gratitude up for you as well. Frame Games, what are you grateful for this morning?
Yeah, the community, the blockchain community itself, I would say, just being able to really get involved in all these different projects and see what people are out there doing in the spaces. So I guess just the blockchain community as a whole.
Jimmy.
I'm grateful for big things that started as small ideas. The Uplift, the shop list. I don't know how fast you guys were intending to grow this, but like I went in there the other day, which was like, I don't know, 3 days after I had written the article. Thanks for the heads up, by the way. The whole thing had been reformed. Everything was different. And I'm like, now I got to write another article. I'm also grateful for, is that Mr. Burns? To the right, is that it almost looks like the Mr. Burns.
From The Simpsons.
I think it's a giant ant, actually. But from
I think it is a giant ant.
That was pretty good.
It's something. Anyway.
So yeah, I want to know. Again, you guys kind of came out of nowhere. The first I kind of heard about it was in the community channel. TinyMrsB was talking about this thing that she was thinking about doing because she was doing 100 days of programming and she wanted to create this shop list for the community. And she didn't really have an idea, like, other than this is how she kind of wanted to do it. But I want to know everything that happened before that, right? Frame Games, you said, you guys have been in the space for a little bit. You've been doing other things. You're looking for projects that speak to you, that you can find a home, and you found the Uplift. And so I want to know, like, your early journey into crypto, NFTs, and programming, and how, you got into this space in general.
Sure. So I guess I'll kind of start with that. It actually started with the AMC run, if you guys know what that is, right? So meme stocks. I got in on Dogecoin. I got in on AMC. I got in on GameStop very early when it was fun and it was interesting.
Yeah.
That played out fairly well for me. And we've been in the space really ever since. I just started looking at projects that from there, I got away from the meme fun aspect of it to let's provide some utility. Let's get into passive income. Let's get into something that's going to be beneficial for my family long term. So really, that's just kind of how it went. Started looking at different projects that offer different utility. I've been involved in video game stuff for quite a while. Our son was on a EA Sports League team for Overwatch, and I used to coach one of the Overwatch teams. So always been into video games. So just started migrating over to like play to earn stuff. Found you guys, and this just kind of became our home. Really, I went pretty deep, owned quite a bit of land, and this is just something it just speaks to me really well, and it's something that I want to be a part of. So I'm with you guys, and either moon or platoon, right? So either we're going to get up there, I'm going to help you guys fight till we get there, but we're going to get there. So
moon or platoon, I'm stealing that forever.
Right, I like that a lot. So I just want to say, like, I don't know, like, I am grateful for you, Frame Games, because you came when I was doing the gratitude rail thing. You sent me a message and you're just like, hey, like if you need any other plots to connect the rail. And I said, well, actually, like, this one might be an interesting one. And you went and you picked it up and you're just like, yeah, okay, done. Like, I got it. Here it is. And it wasn't like personal message. It was like kind of anywhere out there in the community. But like, I was just happy that like somebody wanted to be a part of it that wasn't. And yeah, thanks for that. Because I think that speaks a lot to what you guys do in terms of, I mean, you're building communities of your own, right? And that's really important, I think, especially with this project and what we do in the Uplift.
Yeah, we really enjoy being helpful, and just anything we can do to be a part of the community. We've just always kind of prided ourselves in being nice, respectful individuals that are always willing to help. whatever it takes. Someone reaches out to me and asks me to do something, more than likely, as long as it doesn't affect my family or hurt me in any way, I'm going to do it. So that's just how we've been, and that's just kind of what we live by. So
I'm glad you guys found this for us. Frankly. And I'm sort of saying this in a terrible way, but like that, the idea that like everything you just espoused is sort of what we've been trying to embody from the beginning. And so the fact that people like you guys are finding us and feeling fulfilled, kind of plugging in with what we're doing and and really engaging with community, I sort of feel like maybe we're doing, something right. And I just want to make sure we're all, tripling down on that. It really feels like we are, right? So that like super beginning, but like, you just like, I posted this morning, Sam had this, I'm pretty sure Sam had this post up, and basically we're going to give away some shards, if people post a picture of their build or whatever, right? And I had seen exactly 1 out of 20 of the builds that were in that thread. Like I just haven't seen them. And like there's no way that I can keep up even with a thread of 20 builds. Like that's what? And that still we're at the beginning, right? So like what this looks like in a year is going to be that at a 0, I think. And so it's super fascinating. Anyway, so I want to kind of to take a look at the shop list. And seriously, like anybody watching this now or later, if you have a build or a shop or an attraction, get yours listed. I actually have to do that myself. So this is me like calling myself to the mat. There it is.
Yeah. So tell us about the shop list. I guess I don't know. I'm assuming it was just something that you had this inspiration to do, and it's something that I think was definitely needed. And I love the fact that you put it together, but I don't know how it came about or where the idea came from, but I mean, just look at this. This is amazing. There's feature photos. There's an events page. There's links to Minecraft basics and videos. It's great. Like, I love it.
Yeah, so it kind of came from you guys. We were listening to a video. I think Chris was at work. I was at home. We were just kind of like texting while listening to one of the lives. And we were just like, we could do that. And so at home, at work, I did it. I use Notion because it's kind of like a good database to just like hold a bunch of stuff. We're going to try to get it moved to just the app that he's creating, because that's got its mobile interface and it's got a web interface. But for right now, this is just like a good landing spot to hold everything, all the images, all the files. But yeah, it just kind of came from, I don't know where everything is. I haven't visited half of that stuff yet just because it's so much.
Right.
But I've already found a couple of places that I frequent. I can easily pull it up and say, where's the closest slime farm? I want to go fight some slimes, and it's on there. So we're working on it still to make it more full and intuitive, easier to navigate, better search features. But if you go to the homepage, it'll take you to the app that Frame's working on. And we really want that to be the main landing page for it. And we're working on getting the domain moved over there too.
Yeah.
So I do these articles, and I recently set up some forms so that people can come and they can, fill out their own articles with their own images and stuff. And one of the questions that I plugged in there was like, please leave your link for the shop list. If you don't have one, go and make one and put it in there. Because I think just what you guys have put together and the sheer amount of usefulness for it is great. And yeah, so you are creating an app for, this whole thing, and it just looks amazing. Like, it looks great. And let's go to the old world. It's one store. That makes sense, actually, because nobody lives in the old world.
Yeah, you'll have to go to like Uplift and stuff to see a bunch of stuff. But
yeah, Uplift is they kill it in Uplift. So yeah, yeah, this is great. Like I haven't seen this before. I haven't actually ported over here. The other one was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
so this one, yeah, we're going to be migrating toward this way because I already have a lot of automation set up when it comes to this. So whenever you submit it through, it automatically updates and puts it on there, so you don't have to wait for me to do it. And it also sends a message in Discord letting people know that there's a new attraction. So I've just got a little bit more going on with this. So this is kind of what we're going to migrate toward.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to do. I think we should definitely, Corey, be having a direct link from our site somewhere to this, because this is just beautiful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
when, like, is there a process to kind of get it into actual app form that can be downloaded from like app stores and stuff, or like where are we at in that process?
Yeah, I'm actually working on, with a developer on deploying it to iOS and Android. There's just a little bit of cost whenever it comes to that, and so that's just something I haven't ventured down that path yet.
Okay.
This is still easily accessible and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, to deploy to iOS and Android, it's just really cost factor.
Yeah, let's book some time to chat off air and see if we can't figure out how to monetize it enough, or
sure.
See how and or when. So obviously, like we're booting up right now, but like I definitely want to help in any way we can to get this up and rolling, because it's be really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love for it to be a revenue center for you guys too, just because it seems like it just should be. Frankly, it's cool.
Like what we saw before was pretty cool, but like just with all the images and pictures and stuff like
it's
that, it's really awesome. So, like, is there a submission form that I can use just to submit just to submit articles that we write into this, so that they can be linked to other people's so I think what you guys are doing is great, because we don't have a feature of shops. But I would love to be able to have like somehow link these two together with our official blog site and your site, where they can play off of one another and they can ping together.
Yeah.
So like it'd be really interesting if we could put our articles, because we have like an article or two for Sarago's Castle, right? So like if we could combine that.
Some already have links built into them, as you can see. So if they provided me with the article link, it automatically gets updated to there. So there are some that have submitted it with your article links, and those are built into it, but it's just a clickable link like you see there for their Discord and their Twitter.
Oh, cool. All right. So yeah, let's see about that. So once people submit their I'm curious about this. So once people submit the form with all the information, can they edit it or update it later?
They
have to submit a whole new form.
Yeah, they have to submit a new form, and then I can delete the old one, or they can just reach out to me and I can easily edit it. And the preferred way to submit is actually right there. It's that submit your build right in the middle. Some of the fields are already pre-populated to make it easy for someone. And that way it automatically goes to the app. I literally don't do anything. So there's been a couple submitted within the past few days. I didn't even know that were there. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, the other thing that I think is really cool is the you guys have the announcement and event section as well. So I mean, this is definitely the most thorough community project we've ever seen, Corey?
Oh, by far. Yep.
Nothing ever comes close to this. So that's really cool.
We just want to be helpful, help the community find what they're looking for without it taking forever and having to ask in chat 300 times for the same thing. So
right? Yeah. I mean, I know the pain.
Like when rewards, right? Like
yeah. Yep.
Well, that's really good. Yeah. So do you guys have a tie? Like, I mean, this looks pretty fleshed out to me. I mean, what's your timeline, and is there anything that anyone in the community can do to help maybe further you forward? Is there any assistant lifts that you might need yourselves? I mean,
so as far as the app portion of it, if you scan that QR code on your phone, it's gonna direct you to just save it to your phone's main screen as an app. So it becomes
kind of acts as an app anyway.
Yeah,
I'm doing that right now.
It's just not in the app stores. As far as doing that, I mean, I'd say it kind of depends on life and the DAO and career transitions that we have going on right now, but definitely sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, I could have it ready in as soon as a couple of days if needed. My timeline is, here relatively soon. Obviously, we've got a couple of things we're dabbling in at the exact same time, and that's kind of slowing me down a little bit.
I want to hear about that too. And
Right.
we'll go and visit some of your builds. Yeah, I think like we're kind of going through the final stages of this sort of transition and stuff too, and we're gonna be booting up a bunch of stuff. But I just like, yeah, this is gonna be such a value add for the community, so we'll make sure that people get it. But it's such a great point, like getting it saved as an icon on your home screen. Like it's gonna act just like an app. Like it'll act, it'll feel more or less the same. So that's really cool. And I got to get some builds up on there. Like that. This is for real. I'm putting myself on blast here. It's dumb that I don't have like all my builds on there.
And
what else? Three of them, but still.
You know what else we need to do? We need to put that QR code or something in world, Corey.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
And put it up there so that when people come,
even just this screen,
right?
Yeah, we'll put it up in the portal hub. That's a really good idea. We should do that. Actually, we'll do it over at the Uplifters Tower too. I'm actually gonna get trained to do picture installs, which it's time to. I gotta start grinding some stuff out. And I just don't every time we have stuff to do, I don't want to like be asking the team that's already like got tons of stuff to do. So yeah, really good idea, Jimmy. We're totally gonna do that.
Yeah, and I think it would be great in the portal hub too, because that's kind of the jumping off point for where we're going to do the events. Right. And those are the open server ones. So people can come in, they can see this, they can scan the app, their phone, they can jump through all the things and see all the places that need to be seen and the events that are coming up. I think that's a great idea, Corey.
That you had. Yeah, you're right.
No, I mean your location. It's a location.
Still, sure. All right. But yeah, like having people see this as one of the, like there's like the rules and kind of general sort of thing in the front or whatever. That's where it belongs. Like, right. By the way, did you know you could do this? It's like rock and roll. Super cool.
That's really cool. All right. So builds are pretty cool. And you guys are also, you just released, 2 days ago, some new kind of beyond the Uplift project it seems that you're working on. I kind of want to dive into that too, because that looks really quite interesting. It has to do with coffee, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So it's the Jittery Ape. It's just an NFT project that we're working on a personal level. Essentially want to build a brand around it, but it's going to be a coffee subscription service that will be NFT based. Plus, you can also simply just order through our website as well if there's like a certain flavor and stuff that you'd like. Getting started pretty quickly, actually. I started the LLC yesterday. I also hired 2 graphic designers yesterday. I've already completely set up my Discord. I just like to move really fast, especially when it's something that I have a passion in. I just full steam ahead. That's just me. So
it's awesome, man. Yeah, and this goes into anybody, right? We talk about this in our team all the time. If you can reduce the distance between an idea and action down to milliseconds, you're good, right? Like I've seen so many people have brilliant ideas and then never do anything, right? So I think like in any way, any action that you can conceivably take, do it, burn the ships, rock and roll. It excites me that you guys are doing that. So did you guys are building that as part of an NFT line on Solana?
Right. Yeah. So my actual goal would like for it to be on Wax as well.
Okay.
I don't believe in the crypto tribalism type stuff that you see out there. And so I would like to help bridge that gap between Solana and Wax. So initially I would like to deploy on Solana after successful mint and everything. And we're going to be going through like hopefully the Fellowship DAO. I'm currently talking to them to dox us and to do the minting process and everything through. It's just a really good platform to utilize. And then hopefully after successful mint, I'd like to instantly deploy on Wax as well. So that's my goal.
You actually have a Solana based gallery in Uplift as well, right? Which I think is really interesting because
where is that? Let's head over there now.
It's over on the Uplift, and there's a portal in Kind Cheese's hub at Spawn.
Oh, good.
And then I like the idea of this because as you know, we're going to be porting to other blockchains, and so it's quite interesting to me that we've got themed galleries. Whether it's I think there's a Bored Apes gallery, there's a what's the name of that other one that Digital Acid did with the Miss Madame or something? I forget. Like you guys have got Solana gallery. There's a whole bunch of them. And what I think is going to be really interesting is when we port over to other chains. And there's all of these galleries in various parts of the metaverse on various chains that are displaying, NFTs that may or may not be from that area, which is going to be really interesting. And it's really, I think, TC always says it's like, the internet 3.0, but for me, it's kind of like the great leveling mechanism, right? Like you'll be able to jump through a portal where, the worlds might be overvalued or overpriced because NFTs go bonkers over there, right? And potentially it just brings the ability and the creativity all kind of around this. So I'm excited about it. And we're definitely going to do a post on that gallery, but I want to kind of dive into that. Why Solana? What is it about Solana that you guys like? Why are you over there? Is that where you started?
Yeah, so really it's just about the community. I got involved with several other projects pretty early on, started help really just for like content creation type stuff, just being like, hey, I like your project. Here's this, and this is fun. This is what I can do. If you need my help, let me know. That's kind of like what I like to do. And if people give good feedback, I, jump in and see what I can do. So with Solana, I just got involved with a couple early projects with content creation and stuff. And it just kind of became a home for me. I quickly found other, utility and projects, and it just became fun. Like I said, it's really just kind of about the community for the Solana for me. It's actually very similar to Wax, though, in my opinion, which is why I'd really like to bridge the two together.
There's a Doctor Strange NFT gallery.
Mm-hmm. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you guys.
That's them. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Cool.
It's really good.
Cool. Hey, what's up?
Yep.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, it's telling when you go to the shop list and you scroll through all the places that have submitted in Uplift in comparison to other servers. But I think it's really interesting because like I was kind of focused on gratitude, but there were some wars in Uplift for like surrounding plots, like during the liftoff auctions. Did you guys stay kind of sheltered, or did you have to like bargain on the side? Oh, you can have this plot, but give us this one type of thing. Because I know there was a few people that were doing that.
Yeah, I definitely had a couple people reach out to me both on Uplift and gratitude, and they're like, "What plots do you want, and what kind of deals can we work out?" So that actually happened quite a bit.
Right. Yeah. I know
It's
it's
actually
like,
pretty fun.
I know Chia was talking about that as well, and he's like, it's pretty fun.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, so there's a couple of these little levels have shops, and then just a little bit further down is the Solana one. And then underneath this will actually be a Wax-based one. There's a Wax-based game that I'm pretty involved with called Splinterlands. It's a card-based game, and that's my goal for the spot underneath this one.
Really cool.
Yeah, so I know like there's if there's anyone out there that's listening, if you happen to have anything to do with Solana, we're going to feature this alongside Sports Rewinds. They're over on Solana as well. And I'm going to put up kind of a tutorial on how to get started with a Solana wallet. Because I think that's going to be important in the Uplift is we're noticing that some people don't even understand MetaMask. If you haven't checked it out, go to enter.theuplift.world. You can now link your MetaMask wallet. There'll be a tutorial if you've never done that before, but it's pretty common if you have a MetaMask wallet, but we're putting together a tutorial on how to download it and get yourself set up if you're new to the space, because there might be a few people in there. But I think like, especially with other blockchains like Solana and maybe Terra and some other things or places that we might go, there's going to be, a need and necessity. So I think it would be really cool to have the ability to showcase these NFTs and put like QR codes everywhere and have articles that connect to how to download these places so that when people come in, they know, how to be able to interact with the blockchain. Because, oh, you guys are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're across the street from him, basically. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's an interesting build. I don't know how long you guys have been there, but I covered that a couple weeks ago, maybe. So Doctor Strange, that used to be one of my favorite shows of all time, actually. Why the Doctor Strange?
It's not anymore.
I just wanted something unique.
Well, so I mean, I kind of stopped watching TV, and so I think I watched the new series through to like season 8 or season 9. So maybe after David Tennant left is kind of when I stopped watching it.
There's a Doctor Strange TV show.
I think you're thinking about Doctor Who.
Yep, that's the one.
Ah, damn it! I'm totally thinking about Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Strange like Marvel. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I'm wrong. Anyway, that makes more
fired.
sense. Yeah. Well, it looked like a phone booth on the portal hub. What? I mean.
Oh, hey, they got an employee break room. That's so nice of you guys to have.
Yeah,
that.
Give them somewhere to hang out.
Yeah, nice.
Totally thinking Doctor.
Available. I need to get. I've got a bunch of land on Uplift. I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'll get on that shit. Yeah, the Uplifters need an outpost on every map.
Right.
I mean, it's dumb that we haven't done that already. Frankly.
Well, we've kind of got one on Gratitude, and we've got one on Old World, and we've got one on Genesis. So, but yeah, definitely Uplift London.
Right. And also like get a little bit of distance, we can actually see this behemoth.
It's a little tall.
Right.
So, how about your kids? Have your kids ever made any NFTs?
No. Pretty familiar with them as far as 8 and 12-year-old go. But no, I mean, they definitely have an interest in the space, especially when it comes to Minecraft and playing games. And I think it's super cool that the cryptocurrency and that you can earn money and help play a game and stuff. They think all that stuff's super interesting, and I think that kind of thing is going to help shape their future, really. So
I think you're right. I like that. Every once in a while I think like, what would it be like to have started out experimenting with what we're doing right now when I was 8? Like, what?
Yeah,
dude, this is one of my favorite builds in the whole game. This is awesome.
There's nothing wrong with this.
I wanted to take that exact same screenshot that's on the screen right now. And I wanted to have that as the cover image for like join the DAO, support the DAO.
That'd be cool.
I thought maybe I should tone it back a little bit, but it was really good. Yeah, so we had on NFT Game Day show yesterday, we had B-Dub, Brandon, and he's working over on Terra on this new kind of sci-fi project, which is really cool. But he said something that was quite interesting. If you haven't watched it and you're interested in sci-fi, well, you probably know more than me because I can't even get 2 doctors straight in my head. But if you haven't watched it, go and watch it if you're interested, because it's kind of cool. And if you do watch it, hit us up if you're interested in getting early access. But he said something that was quite interesting because he's in Australia, and he was mentioning because of the lockdowns and stuff, it was a little bit draconian, and he's going out and now he's meeting his friends and he's talking about NFTs, and he keeps having to say the same thing over and over and over and over again, and nobody knows it. So it must be like interesting to have young kids who go to school, because that kind of surprises me. You're like they know what's going on, like they're interested in it. Like, I mean, like that just kind of blows my mind, right? Because like I can't even get half the people that I know to look at them, and they're like adults that have seen them go, and they still think that they're a bubble. I mean, what's the perspective of living with kids and doing like gaming, play to earn, and having them be on the opposite side of all of these people who are going to the same school that are spending hundreds of dollars every year on Christmas to buy games from big corporations. I'm kind of curious if you have any insight on where we might be in a year or 2 or 3.
I think with kids that have grown up playing Roblox and they value their in-game assets and in-game currency, and then inside of Roblox all their other mini games and currency, I think they get it. My son's 8. He sees dad on the computer and he's like, oh, is that a new NFT, or what is that collection, or what can you do with that?
What can you do with that right out the bat? That's amazing.
All the right questions. He sees You know, he was playing yesterday and he came into this gallery and he was like, these are all so cool. What does this one do? What game can you play with this one? So he understands that there are tickets into different worlds.
Dude, he understands it better than 90% of people in the space. 90% of the people in the space aren't asking what utility it has. They just want it because number go uppy. So, I mean, he's smarter than half of them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they get it. And then our daughter, she's 12, and she kind of thinks we're lame at this point, but she understands, and she'll get in and she'll go on Genesis and just start building, and she'll be like, you know, how much am I earning by playing this, or what are we doing with the shop over there on the other world? So they understand.
Right, it kind of messes parents up, right? Because like now you can't be like, hey, do your homework, or like, you know, no video games for you. Now it's like, you know,
you gotta rake in some Upliftium for mommy and daddy.
Right. It's like, hey, I told you, no shoes in the house. Go play, and we get all your profits, right? Like it's I don't know really how it works, but like it's a completely different world. Like I grew up in a world where I was allowed to play, you know, I had 3 brothers, so we had to share because we didn't get along really when we were playing video games, and so we were allowed to play like a video game for 1 hour. Like it was kind of our choice if we wanted to invite our other brothers to play, but like, you know, 3 of us, so that's kind of up to 3 hours a night, but usually it didn't work out that way. And now we live in this world where people can make money that are kids, right? Like if you go over to the latest kind of Rocket Galleries project, there's all of these NFTs up there by like, you know, younger people, like, and they're making money, right? Like you've got a daughter or a son who's a good artist. They could potentially sell an NFT for college tuition money if they're that good, right? If you've got, you know, somebody who's great at Minecraft, like you say, they could make a build and in the Uplift, and you know, potentially a year down the line, that's like their wedding money or their vacation money or whatever, right? Like it's kind of a really interesting scenario to think about how this could pan out, because it's not just play to earn, it's play to build, and when you're building, that kind of asset gains value, right? It's like the real world type of you know, monopoly, but it's not fake money, right? Like, right. I mean, it is, it's fake internet money, but like people value it probably, you know.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm going to trail off, but I'm excited. I mean, my daughter draws good circles that look like aliens. I mean, maybe that should be an NFT.
Maybe. I mean, if you have to ask the question, why aren't they NFTs already?
Hey, have you seen my schedule? I don't even have time to make my own NFTs.
That's true. we've been trying to do that for a long time.
Right.
That's not worked.
So I'm curious how you're transitioning, right? Because you guys we're doing it to a lot of the people who are working on the Uplift. It's tough to move from the real world friends and the real world jobs into the space. So I'm kind of curious if there's any advice that you have to people, because I think you guys are well on your way. You're obviously making time to create this great app, launch this new NFT series. You're still using a lot of this time to spend with your families. If there's any advice that you could give somebody who's kind of still 1 foot in the real world, 1 foot in the space, wants to move into kind of the space, but doesn't really know how to do it, you know, how would you tell them to kind of get their sea legs?
Join communities, ask questions.
Yep. Watch YouTube videos.
Lots of YouTube
Listen
videos.
to audiobooks while you work. There's a lot you can do to teach yourself. Both Britt and I can sit here and tell you that we're both literally self-taught. Neither one of us have gone to school for any of this. This is all YouTube videos and our own passion put forth, basically.
A lot of Google University, they say.
Google University. I love that a lot.
And
so what, you know, like audiobooks, YouTube, like where, what do you guys listen to the most? Like what's had the most impact for you guys?
just like really like there's people on YouTube that teach you. And then there's also a lot of free resources for coding, like freecodecamp.com. And I'm sure she can fire off quite a few others. There's just a lot of free resources out there that if you want to just start teaching yourself how to do this stuff, just start literally migrating over. I mean, that's essentially what I'm doing and what I've done. I've been a structural collision repair adjuster for the automotive world for 7 years. And it's been a good source of income for my family, but it's also very, very demanding, both mentally and physically. And that just finding this space and finding this community overall is what's pushed me to step away from that very stressful real world environment and migrate over to this space. And that's my fuel for learning, essentially, and how I've been able to kind of do some of this stuff. Just my own desire to step away from something that's, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's kind of bad. Stepping away from something that has a negative impact on my life and bringing forth something that's positive. That's my fuel for learning and for pushing myself forward. So
that's, I mean, yep, nailed it. No, it's awesome, man. I mean, that like, and I'm super inspired by anybody that can go from things kind of in the real world that aren't fulfilling and are a lot more linear in the income capacity, right? I mean, that you can make good money, but it'll get capped out, and you're trading a lot of time and a lot of stress for that usually, right? Whereas here, like, things can get amazing and awesome, based on some elbow grease and ability to learn. And that, like, what you guys are talking about, like, that's when I launched Chipple years ago, right? Just to see if I could do it, because I'm not a coder. I don't know anything. But I just Googled it, and then I kept Googling it. And what would take a normal developer probably about 10 minutes took me a month and a half. But I did it, and it's still funny and stupid today. Right? But they, like, anybody can do that in this space now. Actually, one of the things you're mentioning, something called the fellowship on Solana. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so essentially that's a platform that you can utilize to not only dox yourself to get your presence out there, but they also help you set up the mint and really take care of a lot of the back end aspect of it. Of course, they take there's monetary value that has to go to them. I think it's a percentage, like 5 to 10%, depending on how many you mint. But essentially, you go through their platform and they help you to deploy and kind of help take care of everything for you. And as long as you do it during like Monday through Friday, they offer like full support and they'll be there to help you out. And so that's one of the reasons why I reached out to them for their help. We actually at one point, maybe almost a year ago, tried to start our own NFT collection, and that was on Ethereum through OpenSea. And it just became a little bit harder than we anticipated. But that was also a year ago, and tech stuff wasn't as advanced as it is now. And a lot of people really came in and streamlined the process for you. And I'm willing to lose 5 to 10% for that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like, I'd love to have them on the show. Cause again, like by the end of this year, I'd love to see us on Solana as well as Ethereum and Terra. Cause if I don't get us on Terra, Jimmy's going to keep yelling at me. But and again, when we're there, like when we go to these new chains, I think Tiny's gonna join Frame Games here. She's letting us know in the private chat her laptop was gonna die. Hello. That works. Yeah, like on these new chains when we launch, we're launching only small maps now, right? Like the smallest map we have live right now is 4 kilometers on a side. All the new ones are gonna only be 1 kilometer. But we want to have like Genesis, because I think worked really, really well. We want to get 50 projects that are part of that initial world or whatever, right? And I mean, you guys for the Solana map, like, I mean, we know you guys are family, so you're in if you want a spot, right? And you get a free piece of land, and you get to be kind of part of the history of us rolling into that and connecting with other communities on that thing. And a group like Fellowship for Solana, like, we would love to have them on the show. We would love to talk to them, and we would love to have them be part of that, because it seems like they're doing things in a way that just seems really cool.
Yeah, and I have a meeting set up with them this weekend, so I'll be sure to drop y'all's names, see what we can help figure out.
Yeah, let them know we'd love to have them on the show and get the word out about what they're doing.
I don't know. I'm usually pretty good at these things.
All right, hey, no, or Jimmy will do it.
no, like I just found something really interesting out, and I didn't realize this, but I was talking to another good friend of ours, Nifty BC, and I had no idea that there's like a massive, partnership with Solana and FTX. And FTX did that Larry David Super Bowl commercial that we watched that we love so much. Remember that, Corey? And so like I think that there's a lot of momentum behind Solana that's like a little bit going unnoticed, and I think a lot of that momentum is in NFTs, and I kind of really want to tap into that more. So I'm really grateful that you guys are bringing those NFTs to the Uplift so that people can see them. That gallery is amazing. Definitely go visit it. Again, you can jump through the portal hub at Spawn in Uplift, and you can find it. Strangely enough, look for the Doctor Strange the Doctor Strange portal and do that. But like, I just think it's really interesting to see this. And I love the fact that you guys are building a gallery that each floor is going to be divvied out and intended for a different line of NFTs from blockchains, right? Like, that's pretty cool. It's like a microcosm of what Corey explained with the worlds, right? And so, yeah, definitely, if you know people that are Solana people, we would love to have them on the show. Definitely hit us up.
For sure.
Yippers. Yeah, we're gonna have to start filling out the giant rooms in the crazy dome that I'm gonna make. I started messing around in Old World. I have let's call it ambitious thing mapped out. It's like we've been talking about, like, that idea of, you guys were talking about the tribalism with chains and how that's not your jam. Definitely not our jam. That tribalism exists, obviously, right? But we're going to be multi-chain. We encourage anybody to experiment with that and do that, because I think it's just not a terrible idea to do. And the idea that we could, the Uplift itself is going to be on all these different chains. Like, our NFTs will be over there. They will work the same way they do on Wax. But when you're in world, you're not going to feel like it's a different place. It's the same place, right? They're different city states, but they're all connected, and they're all connected through something very much like the portal hub that connects all of our worlds now, right? So you could conceivably have people walking from Solana to Ethereum to Terra to back to Wax in the portal hub or whatever, and that, just as a sort of an architectural thing, has been fascinating to me, right? Like, the idea that we can make of these disparate tribes neighbors. I think that's going to have a really cool effect on how we see all this stuff. It's sort of an awesome opportunity. Anyway, yeah. That's why I started building. It's idiotically big.
Yeah, and it's cool to see some of those integrations already even taking place. Like, if you check out Magic Eden, they're also featuring Ethereum-based projects, and so you could essentially buy both on one platform, both Ethereum and Solana-based. So it's cool already seeing those integrations, and hopefully that'll help everyone start tying things together.
OpenSea's another, right?
Yeah, OpenSea's, they're doing a lot of L2s, right?
Yeah, I think they've got Cosmos. I think they've got Ethereum. I think they've got.
So they doing Polygon?
I think they have Solana as well. I think Phantom integrates now too over there. So
crazy.
It's kind of interesting. So I also want to hashtag shameless plug myself and what I do. I do this one series that's called the Uplift Tour Bus, where people can submit 5 to 10 photos and 3 to 4 sentences about places that they've been. And I know how many people use the shop list, and I want to encourage everyone who uses the shop list to find resources, to jump through portals, to go and visit those locations. Submit those photos so we can put them up on the blog, because like, if you're jumping through a portal to go buy stuff and you're using the shop list and you're taking 5 to 10 images, then we can throw it up there. We can throw the URL for the plots up there. We can get you out there as a professional uplifting photographer potentially, right? And we can also just play off this idea that people will see those links. The more people who use the shop list, the better it is for everyone in the Uplift, because that increases our SEO, that increases the visibility that we have, that increases, everything. So I just want people to know how useful this is. I have one question. What's next for the shop list, right? Like you've got the app. What's the new breaking ground feature that you guys are going to throw in there? If you can give us a spoiler, I don't know if you have one.
Everything.
I think right now we're just trying to get it all merged together. So we've got the Notion site that's going to be saved as like the backup in case everything crashes. But we've got the domain purchase, the shoplist.world. We just need to get that connected to the app. And then from there, we do need to update some of the automation. So people updating their own pages. That's the next hurdle. But we're getting there slowly.
All right. I think the next integration should be figuring out how to plug it into our official site somehow. But yeah, I think there should be definitely a link at the very least that goes in there in a way that like we can highlight that. Because like you're maximizing what I can't do and what we can't do. And you've empowered a whole community to be able to throw up, like you said, in the last day, 3 posts that you haven't even seen. Right. So like, that's amazing. It's totally great. So as for us, like we got to go very soon because we're doing our volume 4 of the Uplift white paper chronicles today in about 10 minutes. But if there's anything else that you guys want to shout out before you go, mainly, is there any way that people can help you? Are you accepting donations for the shop list? If people want to, throw you a bone for featuring their stuff, is there anything that you want people to know? I think the links for all of your projects are below, so definitely check that out. But anything we might have missed?
No, I mean,
submitting their builds is the biggest thing because it helps grow the database. So if we do have it integrated into the main, Uplift site one day or anything that will help it grow, having that database of everybody's information, all your shops, locations, that's the foundation of it all. So just submitting your stuff, even if it's something you're working on, you don't have anything crazy there yet, add it.
Yeah, still submit it. Yeah. Really, we put this together for the community, so we just want to see the community utilizing it. It should be used as a valuable resource. I think Britt does have like a link on there for like donations if anyone did feel like doing that type of thing, but it's not anything that we ask for or anything. So
that brings me to my biggest pet peeve of the Uplift. I mean, the community is great. Like they're a bunch of solid people, but they've got one serious issue, and that is they never want to submit anything until they're done. And it's impossible to be done in the Uplift world. So just like, like they said, if you've got like part of it there, you can always update it. You can always, do a follow-up post later. Get those in because populating that space and populating this space with our builds and our things, it's really going to help us when we move away from Wax, right? When we're moving into blockchains where there's other projects that don't know about us, people are going to be able to come and see things like the shop list and go through all these amazing builds and see the economy and be like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't just an NFT that's a card that doesn't do anything. So I think that's really cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What do you got, Corey? Anything before we let these fine people?
No, just honestly, I'm grateful for both you guys. Thanks for being in the space and doing everything you're doing. It'll be exciting to follow you guys over and learn from you guys over on Solana. We're just gonna blow shit out this year. Like Wax us down, we don't give a crap because we're gonna build. That's the way it is.
Time to accumulate.
And come back and join us anytime, or come back and interview your own people if you want. We don't even have to be here.
And like Moon or Platoon, I need that T-shirt or maybe a tattoo across my forehead. I'm not sure. One of the two.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we got to go get ready for this. You guys rock. Cheers. You hit the button, Jimmy?
I'm on it. Done.